Hello, it's 12 hours GMT. This is the Midday News. The news is live on Joy99.7 FM in Accra. We're live in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM. We're streaming live on Facebook and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Laura FM in Laura, A1 Radio in Bolgatanga, Sky FM in Sunyane, and Victory FM Aplau. Go digital on Spotify and the Mind Joy online app. And coming up. At least one person dead and several others seriously injured following a clash between two groups allegedly affiliated to small-scale mining giant Okobeng and Deputy Land and Natural Resources Minister Mekuduka was said to be in dispute over a mining concession. We have details. Also, government cautioned to focus on expenditure cuts rather than attempt to scrap taxes, as experts warn of worsening economic conditions should any such policy be adopted.
That $2 billion that they want to pump into the bank, give me just within 2 months, is going to go off, and we are going to go back to square one.
That's going to be leaving a gaping hole in the revenue mobilization process of the country.
We have details as we build up to a major press conference to be addressed by the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta. Also, NDC MPs are accusing the Minister of disrespecting the legislative body after learning he will not show up in Parliament to answer questions.
The only times you see him coming to Parliament is when he's coming to take a loan, during budget reading and something like that.
Also in this package, NDC stalwart Dr. Tony Edu lashes out as government, describing some of the austerity measures as unrealistic.
Current government has got the country into a real pickle, and the prospects are not very, very good. When you look at the measures so far being put on the ground, those measures are not realistic at all.
More as he calls for a review of some of government's flagship projects.
You've mounted so-called programs which are Cinderella projects seriously. This is where your expenditure is going.
Also coming up here on the Midday News.
Rent issue is becoming a headache.
48 million. I mean, because
high rent prices driving people crazy in Accra. There's more in today's edition of the Living Standard series coming up in sports.
The Black Stars have all they need to beat the Super Eagles of Nigeria in the crucial World Cup qualifier. Sports Minister declares as he vows that Nigeria will fall to Ghana on Friday.
The government has put in all the necessary preparation as far as going to this playoff is concerned, making sure that our players, we have insured our players long before.
That will bring us details, and as we continue with our Ghana Man series focusing on Ghanaian indigenous games, we'll tell you about Owari, the game that requires vigilance and keen attention. We have details of these stories and more in this half-hour package. Please stay with us. Thanks for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. I'm Ernest, Manu. Commentary by a bystander witnessing a clash between rival small-scale mining groups. At least one person has died and several others also seriously injured following the clash yesterday. The two sides are said to be affiliated to small-scale mining giants Okobeng and the Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister George Mekuduka, who is said to be in dispute over a mining concession. My colleague Samuel Kojo Brace has been gathering some more information on this and joins me in the studio. Kojo, what more do we know about this?
What we know is that these groups have been in feud for some time now, and they met on the Bonsa River. There's a toll booth right after the police barrier yesterday, and then whilst they met, they started fighting, shooting and using cutlass. The leader of the group alleged to be affiliated to Mrekuduka died on the spot from a gunshot, and the leader for the Okobe Mines guy was also butchered, and he was rushed to Kolebu, I'm told, with some deep cut in the head and then the ear as well. I'm told it's a bloody one that people in Takwa are even living in anxiety over this particular fight.
Kojo, thank you very much for bringing us those details. Away from that incident, let's talk the economy now. This afternoon, there are calls on government to significantly cut down on its proposed expenditure for the year to salvage what experts say is an economic crisis. Its communicators have already indicated a 30% pay cut may be an option amid calls for scrapping of taxes on petroleum products. President Akufo-Addo, following a crunch meeting with his appointees, announced that the finance minister will be briefing the nation on the specific steps to deal with the present challenges. Here's a Newsdesk report.
The Minister for Finance, my instructions, is going to have a major engagement with the nation on Thursday to lay out specifically the measures that we have taken, that we intend to take.
President Akufo-Addo there announcing this week that he had directed Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta to address the nation on the actions government is implementing to fix the economy. It followed a 3-day retreat of Cabinet and NPP MPs after weeks of the Ghana cedi taking a beating from other major trading currencies, particularly the dollar, and also soaring inflation. Government appointees will take a pay cut of 30% for the foreseeable future as part of government's quest to cut down expenditure. Already, the Bank of Ghana has announced a hike in the policy rate from 14.5% to 17%. Government will also be pumping $2 billion into the economy to rescue the city's free fall. Government is also contemplating easing COVID-19 restrictions with the country's land borders set to be opened. We will also know the exact taxes government will remove on the petroleum price build-up to cushion Ghanaians with the recent increase in fuel prices.
Special petroleum tax, the Acquisition and Recovery Levy, and then also the sanitation and pollution levy.
These and other major interventions are set to be announced today. Even as the finance minister prepares to brief the nation, members of parliament are divided over the proposed actions.
Finance ministers have all experienced finance minister, having managed the economy, having handled the economy of Ghana, having positioned Ghana in the map.
Except to come and talk shop, that's all.
And that was a Newsdesk report. Now, economist Dr. Ejapoma Jekedako is warning government against any move to scrap taxes. Here's why.
Per what is happening now, the prices of fuel shifts from 10 cedis to about 12 cedis, and all the taxes would have been taken off. We come back to the same position. Meanwhile, that's going to be leaving a gaping hole in the revenue mobilization process of the country, because, mind you, it was factored into the 2022 budget. Right. And so this same problem that we are complaining about, we don't have enough revenue, and because of that, we are going to have to borrow, etc. We are going to have to come back to that same position. And so touching the taxes, I'm a bit uncomfortable. Okay. We should rather be looking at other forms of government expenditure. And, they said that they are going to be cutting their salaries by 20 or 30%. That's showing good faith, because one of the reasons why we see our currency actually depreciating so fast is because of loss of investor confidence. And just because the investors, especially the foreign investors, don't see that we will be able to repay them when they lend to us. So if we are going to get them to come back on board, then they have to see good faith on the side of government.
That's economist Dr. Ejapoma Jekedako. Let's stay on the economy, but this time to Parliament.
The Speaker, the Finance Minister has 12 questions. We know the challenging times we find ourselves, but we believe that he would make it and explain government financial policy.
That was Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin speaking in Parliament last Friday. He was delivering the business statement when he assured the Finance Minister will be in the House to answer questions. While the Minister is not on the agenda today, Parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Parker-Wilson joins me on the line with more on this. Parker, any official explanation why the Minister will not be showing up today?
Well, just about 2 minutes ago, Ernest, we received an official explanation from the Majority Chief Whip, Frank Aladon, indicating to the House that the Finance Minister yesterday wrote to Parliament alerting them of his inability to appear before the House to answer about 12 questions from the members of Parliament. And the reason is simple, that he's still gathering data and information on some of the questions that have been asked. So he cannot appear before the House when he does not have a better appreciation of the answers that he'll be providing to the members of Parliament. And that is why he's not here today. But I must say that the Minority Chief Whip, Muntaka Mubarak, is unhappy with the conduct of the Finance Minister. He asked the First Deputy Speaker of Parliament to ensure that the Finance Minister appears before the House, probably by next year, because some of the questions have been on the order paper since about 8 months ago. And so it cannot be true that the Finance Minister is gathering data and gathering information on some of the questions. So the First Deputy Speaker of Parliament is also directed that the question be reprogrammed for next week so that the Finance Minister can appear before the House to answer the questions.
And beyond the Minority Chief Whip whom we've been speaking to, other members of Parliament on the NDC side have also been speaking to you, Parker. Let's listen to them.
The questions we have on this floor would have elicited almost all the things he wanted to talk about today at the ministry. So he just doesn't respect Parliament. And it's on record. It's not. I'm not saying it.
So you are an MP. You are going into the chamber. I mean, Parliament is just about starting a proceeding. What are you going to do?
We are going to make this raise this issue strongly during the presentation of the business statement today. In fact, even the majority would have to explain to us why those 12 questions vanished between yesterday and today on the order paper.
You are demanding explanation.
Oh yes, we're going to demand. Whatever he's going to say today can't take precedence on what we have done, because some of these questions have been here for 6 months. I've been on in the system for 6 months.
That you cannot just be running away from Parliament, you are not coming, all those kind of things. That is why we were triggering the COVID expenditures and all those things. You say, well, we should not investigate you. We should leave everything. You two come and you are not coming. So how will Ghanaians be able to get value for money? Then you tell them there's austerity. Austerity from where?
You are disappointed, clearly.
The excuse day before yesterday, was free SHS. Then, when the Ghanaians got to know that it was not a free SHS, then you said COVID. Then, when Ghanaians say, let's investigate the COVID to see whether that's the problem, you said no. Then today you are saying Russia, Ukraine. Did we vote for Russia, Ukraine? We voted for Nanadu, and you are the finance minister.
Those are some NDC MPs there speaking to parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Parker-Wilson. Well, Mr. Oforiatta, we know, will be addressing the news conference at 1 p.m. today, and we'll bring you a live coverage of that on the Joy News channel. Let's stay a while longer on the economy. NDC stalwart and former head of policy and evaluation at the presidency under the Mills administration, Dr. Tony Edu, has described as unrealistic the measures announced by government to rescue the economy. The Bank of Ghana on Monday announced an increase in the monetary policy rate from 15% to 17% in an attempt to deal with inflation and the falling Ghana cedi. But speaking on the Patriotic Citizen series on the Super Morning Show, Dr. Edu said the BOG got the approach wrong.
The general direction is obvious. The current government has got the country into a real pickle. And the prospects are not very, very good, because when you look at the measures so far being put on the ground, those measures are not realistic at all. The Bank of Ghana 3 days ago announced the increase in the policy rate by 250 percentage point. This is a typical capitalist solution to a peripheral capitalist problem. In Ghana, the money in circulation is not credit money. It is hard cash. So what had hard cash transactions got to do with credit? Policy rates deal with credit. If inflation is deemed as a result of a high level of liquidity, the form of that liquidity is very, very important to identify. And if the form of liquidity is hard cash and not credit, where has interest rate got to do with the use of hard cash in transactions? How do you mop up the excess liquidity in terms of hard cash and not credit? We should have identified the problem as not one of demand, but of supply.
He also described as cosmetic the 30% pay cut by government appointees as part of measures to cut down expenditure. Dr. Edu wants government to instead review some of its flagship projects, which he describes as Cinderella projects.
For 5 years, you have operated a bloated executive, 125 ministers of state, over 1,000 presidential staffers. Even if they are not receiving salaries, they are receiving largesse in cars, housing, and so on and so forth. This is where your expenditure is going. It's not going into productive enterprise. You've mounted so-called programs, which are Cinderella projects, seriously.
Why do you call them Cinderella projects?
One village, one dugout, which does not contain water when they are needed. Waste of money. Show me one dam in the north that is functional, especially at a time when it is needed. That's money down the drain.
Dr. Tony Edu is asking government to invest in productive aspects of the economy that are capital intensive, but here's how he wants government to approach it.
You have selected or elected the private sector to be your engine of growth, which is a fallacy anyway. And yet, everything you do is to hurt that private sector.
Why is that a fallacy?
It's a fallacy because the historical fact is that the average private entrepreneur in a typical third world country is not a creator of wealth.
You had Dr. Tony Edu. And let's stay on the economy. This afternoon, the Ghana cedi has begun a crucial journey towards recovery against major trading currencies. The Bank of Ghana says the local currency has depreciated by nearly 15% after opening 2022 at 6.0 to the dollar. Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Ernest, had on Monday said the bank was to pump some $2 billion into the economy to help stabilize the cedi. Well, that may be yielding some results. My colleague Manu has been checking the rates on the market and joins me in the studio with more. Manu, what are the current rates on the market?
So in the major banks, you're having 7.8. That's the rate that we're seeing in some of the major banks. In the forex bureaus that I checked about 3, and the rates run between 7.5 through to 7.8.
Okay, 7.5, that's slightly lower.
Slightly lower.
What about the black market? What do we know?
Well, we know that as of last Friday, it went as high as 8.6. But the operators in the black market tell me that it has reduced to as low as 7.5. selling today.
Every 7 days we'll get down. Every 7. If you want to buy 7, we'll get down. It come down.
But so when it started come down?
Since Monday.
Then the Monday night be how much?
The Monday, they will not tell you. If the Monday starts come down.
So the Monday night be how much?
Like Friday to Saturday, 8 cedi with the buyer. But now it come down.
This business one you are doing, anything you buy today, you know get less if it we go tell them that day, because anything can happen. So if I buy your dollar today, you know go reach 1 minute or 2 minutes for my hand and go sell them. So now if you afford to, you so I don't go buy dollar unless I ask person where you go buy. If I get the rate before I go buy. If I don't get, I don't go buy.
Last week, 8 cedi. Okay, I'm fine. It's Kadada 8.5. Okay. As I say, no here be kura. When you're 8 cedi.
So those are some forex operators on the black market speaking to Joy News. Now, many people line up in the corridors of the Rent Control Office daily seeking a resolution to their rent problems. The cost of food, fuel and transport have gone up. High rent is driving many people crazy, so they go there to complain. Listen to some tenants and landladies make their claim in today's Living Standard series.
Rent issue is becoming a headache.
48 million. I mean, I feel because today we not to use no no see me too free then.
In fact, me no me father and high. This is my first time.
Martin Togbo is in a pensive mood. He sits at the rent control office, poring over how he will continue to keep a roof over his family. His landlord has been increasing rent over the years, and it is now becoming unbearable. In about 8 months, he has to cough up almost 9,000 cedis, or he will find himself and his 2 sons on the streets.
It's been a very, very difficult task to pay the rent, and then at the same, it's especially when you are not within a resident bungalow as where you work.
Martin teaches music at a school near Birmingham. Before then, he lived in a teacher's bungalow. But when he was transferred, his renting woes began.
I was not going for loan to take these things to pay the rent. I used my part-time teaching piano here and there to pay. Fortunately, things didn't go well.
He's now renting a chamber and hall. But his landlord keeps increasing the rent and his demands are now unbearable. He is at the rent control for a solution.
The rent issue is becoming a headache. I'm telling you, rent issue in this country is becoming a headache. And it's driving a lot of people crazy. It's driving a lot of people crazy. You see, if you are hungry and you can take water and find a place and sleep, you'll be sound. A sound mind will be in a sound body.
Martin's case is just a drop in the ocean. Many people line up in the corridors of the rent control office daily, seeking a resolution to their rent problems. The cost of food, fuel, and transport have gone up. High rent is driving many people crazy, so they are here to complain. 60-year-old Adiza storms out of one of the offices where her case was just heard. Nothing will soothe Adiza's anger. She claims her landlord is evicting her only 2 weeks after moving into her house, but she seems unsatisfied with the outcome of the resolution.
48 million, I feel.
I'm yet to get a house. I paid 4,800 Ghana cedis. But now she's evicting me. How can she do that?
Mamiesi Thompson with our Living Standards series. You're listening to the Midday News. You're on Joy 99.7 FM. Still to come as we continue our Ghana Man series focusing on indigenous Ghanaian games. We'll tell you about Owari, the game that requires vigilance and keen attention.
After the game is over, we rearrange the palm kernels inside the holes to identify the number of holes the person has scored. That's what shows how the person has won.
Charlie, you know say DSTV they do something give you anytime you upgrade your DSTV package. From DSTV family to compact, DSTV go carry you go compact plus straight. It means say more series, more movies, more fun. Wow! Bro, so upgrading from compact to compact plus they mean say you go get a step up straight to premium. That be front row seat for your favorite football teams live.
Bro, make you sign me up.
Make you step up to the next level on us. Upgrade your current DSTV package and we go step you up to the next highest package at no extra cost. DSTV, it's your moment.
Joy 99.7 FM.
How about getting your day defined with us here on the Super Morning Show as we serve you the most authentic breakfast on radio? My name is Kojo. Join Mama Biausu Abuaji, Winston Amwa and I on the Super Morning Show every weekday from 5:50 until 10 a.m.
I'm Dorinando, your joy bringer. I take over from the morning show team from 10 a.m. till midday every weekday, serving you the best cocktails ever on the Cosmopolitan Mix. I simply keep you company whilst you work.
And I come in right after the business news at 1 p.m. to keep you ignited with all those soothing and incredible tunes. From 1 p.m. through to 3 p.m. with me, Sammy Forson, on Ignition, ahead of drive time, where Lexus Bill takes you on a smooth drive.
You bet, Sammy Forson. They
know they are always in safe hands on Drive Time on Joy. Where my passengers at, you know how we do it. Super jams, great combos, and many more. I am Lexus Bell. Hey, Kofi, are you ready for the overdrive?
Oh, yes, Lexus. I am ever ready to overdrive our listeners with joy. Between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. every Monday to Wednesday, I know just how to keep you company while you push through the final hours of traffic before getting home safely. Enjoy your bedtime with George Quay on the Late Night Express.
Thank you, Kofi. The Late Night Express is a journey of inexplicable musical ecstasy as I serve and pamper you with all those love-soothing tunes till you fall asleep like a baby. My name is George Quay. The Late Night Express, Mondays to Wednesdays, 10 p.m. till midnight. Your bedtime companion. I love you.
Yes, we love you, and thank you for choosing us. Joy 99.7 FM, radio for discerning listeners. We are Joy.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Time now for sports, and Muftau is here with the very latest. Muftau,
yes.
What's the temperature in the room?
24 degrees. So yeah, we are building up to that big game on Friday. It's the first leg of the World Cup qualifier between Ghana and Nigeria. And Ghana's sports minister has been speaking. He was on PM Express last night. And he's been telling us what government is doing from their side to ensure that the Black Stars secure a win against the Super Eagles.
The government has put in all the necessary preparation as far as going to this playoff is concerned, making sure that our players, we have insured our players long before. All our players are insured that Nigeria, everybody see Ghana as the underdog. But the winning bonuses that we are the country is putting up is something that the GFA is working on. We have agreed, and it is not only this playoff.
Not only this playoff, and one thing he said, remember the Nigerian sports minister had said they were going to beat Ghana blue-black.
Yes.
Our sports minister also says he's tickling himself just to laugh. Our build-up, as we've always said, is brought to you by Qatar Airwaves, KFC, 10Bet, as well as Airtel Tigo.
Yes, we'll be fine. Muftau. All right, time now for Tech Thursday, and today we focus on technology that can help prevent road crashes.
Safe driving saves lives. Drive safe.
And as road accidents continue to claim many lives, it has become important motorists continue to perfect their craft. Therefore, don't you think an app that can detect speed ramps even if there are no road signs, and also in addition suggest ways to perfect your driving behavior can be a game changer? Well, that's exactly what Tech Device Hub Limited has done with the Road Hazard Alert Masterpiece, or the RAMP app. KNUST graduates Stephen Frimpong and Jesse Inim are the brains behind the app.
The RAMP app in full, Road Hazard Alert Masterpiece, is designed to ensure that the road is...
We created a system that helps us to manually plot our own coordinates into a database. Then we use that database, then we compare that database value to the position that the driver is at. Then if the driver is maybe 100 meters away from the road sign, we notify the driver with a voice notification.
Even if you're a very good driver, when you are driving on an unfamiliar road, it's very risky. Therefore, what the RAMP app does is it perfects your driving as well as making the road as familiar as it can for you. How does it do that? Whilst you are driving, the RAMP app detects speed ramps, traffic signs, and all other alerts on the road.
That's it for Tech Thursday. And played mainly in the Akan regions of Ghana, Owari is relatively still popular compared to other Ghanaian games. This game is one that requires one to pay keen attention and also to exercise a high level of vigilance. Here's Justice Bedu with our Ghana Man series.
It's a sunny Friday afternoon here at the Kwabenya MA5 school in Accra. Pupils are out and engaged in different games. One of them is Owari.
My name is Blessing Ahianyo.
I asked Blessing Ahianyo to tell me about the Owari game.
The Owari game was played by digging 12 holes on the ground, 2 rows with 6 holes in each, and we use the palm kennels to play the game, and it is played by 2 people. But now the Owari game is kept out of fruits and can be taken along wherever one wants to.
Owari is a board game known otherwise as Mankala.
We arrange the palm kernels inside the holes to identify the number of holes the person has scored. That's what shows how the person has won. Each hole, we have 4 palm kernels in it, and when one picks 4, he goes round dropping 1 in each hole. So after dropping it, the one who picks 4 of the palm kernels have won the game.
And that's it for our Ghana Man series, and ending the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. Our top story this hour: economists warn of scrapping of taxes, as they say that could hurt the economy further. You'll find more of these stories when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm Ernest. Manu. Up next is Dr. Mensa Otabel with Living Word.
Hello, please, am I speaking to Miss Joanna Kuma?
Yes, please.
My name is Philip and I'm calling from MTN. Someone has just sent you money and we will need you to enter